Hi there, this is Alan. Welcome back to another Blazor tutorial. Today we'll be introduced to components in Blazor. We'll cover what they are, how they're structured, and how to use them. So let's jump right in. Alright, so we have created a Blazor web app project from the last video, and now let's start by navigating to the components folder in our project. Here you'll find various Razor files, as you can see, and these files in Blazor define reusable components that make up different parts of our application's user interface. Now, what exactly is a Razor file? Well, it's essentially a blend of HTML and C#. Razor is a markup syntax that allows us to define rendering logic like conditionals and expressions alongside our HTML markup. If we navigate to the Pages folder, we'll find the pages of our application also written as Razor files. For example, the home page is defined by the home.razor file, or we can call it the home component. Here we see the page directive specifying the route for this page. This ensures that the home component is displayed when the user navigates to the root of the app. Additionally, we have the page title component, which sets the title for the current page displayed in the browser tab. So, except for the components that we can create, we also have built-in components, just like this page title component. The rest of the file is normal HTML that defines the content for the page. If we try to run our application, we'll be redirected to the root of the app, which is our home page. Now, let's take a look at the counter component. It is located in the pages directory as well. This component renders a simple counter that increments each time a button is clicked. Notice the page directive specifying the route for the component, and the render mode directive enables interactive server rendering. And we'll actually see in a separate video in more detail all the render modes in Blazor, but this basically makes possible the user interactivity in our web app. What we have next, each time we select the click me button, the onClick event is fired. The increment count method then is called, which is declared in our code block, where we write most of our C# code. And this method increments the current count field, which is defined above inside this code block as well. And then the current count is displayed inside the paragraph element using C# syntax with the @ sign. If we navigate now to our counter page, we can use the menu on the left to go there. We can see how the counter works. Each time we click the button, the current count is then incremented, and we can see its value displayed on the screen. But how do we use components in specific parts of our application? Well, we just add an HTML style tag with the name of the component. For instance, to add the counter component to the home page, we simply include a counter element in the home.razor file. We can run the application, and we will see that we have a counter in our home page as well. Components can also have parameters, which allow you to pass data to the component when it's used. Component parameters are defined by adding a public C# property to the component, which also needs to have a parameter attribute. We can then specify a value for a component parameter using an HTML style attribute that matches the property name. So we can define a parameter on the code block in the counter component to specify how much it increments with every button click. We are defining a public int increment amount property, and we're setting its initial value to 1 so that it increases with 1. And we need to change the increment count method to use the increment amount value when incrementing the value of current count. Now in home.razor, we can update the counter element to add an increment amount attribute that changes the increment amount to, let's say, 10. But you can put here any value, any integer. We can run the app again. And we will see that the home component now has a counter that increments by 10 each time we click the button. We can go and see in our counter page that the counter increments only by 1, since these are two different counters, and 1 was the default value given to the property of the component. And that concludes our brief overview of components in Blazor and how to use them. We will learn more about them in the upcoming videos, but for now, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.